Good day, brothers and sisters in Christ. Welcome to our reflection for the 23rd Sunday of Year C. The theme of our reflection is the power of priority. Whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. Luke chapter 14, verse 27. John Gardner tells the story of a cheerful elderly man who asked the same question of just about every new acquaintance he fell into conversation with. What have you done that you believe in and you are proud of? He never asked conventional questions such as, what do you do for a living? It was always, what have you done that you believe in and are proud of? It was an unsettling question for most people who had built their self-esteem on their wealth, family name, or exalted job title. He was delighted by a woman who answered, I'm doing a good job raising 3 children, and by a cabinet maker who said, I believe in good workmanship and practice it, and by a woman who said, I started a bookstore and it's the best bookstore for miles around. I don't really care how they answer, said the elderly man. I just want to put the thought into their minds. They should live their lives in such a way that they can have a good answer. Not a good answer for me, but for themselves. That's what's important. This cheerful elderly man has stumbled on something important. There is a need for priority in our lives. All the readings promise that if we make the right choices, our lives will unfold in ways that enrich us. The psalmist begins by reminding us that life is brief and we must live with purpose. When we reflect on our lives, what will we see as our achievements? The first reading offers little guidance in this regard. The author emphasizes that, left to our own devices, we hardly understand what life truly is unless God reveals it to us. Jesus exposes what can bring us genuine joy in the gospel reading. His God's revelation showing us the path to fulfillment and happiness. Therefore, we must love Him more than our families, be ready to make all sacrifices that following Him involves, and be willing to give up all our possessions. This will free us, as St. Paul challenges Philemon to treat everyone as our brothers and sisters, regardless of their circumstances. We have committed to following Jesus at baptism, and those of us baptized as infants have renewed this commitment at confirmation and during the Easter Vigil each year. Why do we not experience the fulfillment Jesus promises? Why do we not find the joy that the world cannot give or take away from us? I once had an interesting conversation with 2 young people preparing to receive the sacrament of matrimony. The lady told me that she had stumbled on the truth of her faith in a way she had never experienced it before while attending the marriage course. She added, and I've been going to church all my life. If we are not committed enough to Jesus, it is because we have not come to a profound realization of His message in our lives. We have been listening to God, but His word is yet to find a home in us. Addressing the Corinthians, in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, 15 to 18, St. Paul states, and I quote, But the people's minds were hardened, and to this day, whenever the old covenant is being read, the same veil covers their minds, so they cannot understand the truth. And this veil can be removed only by believing in Christ. Yes, even today, when they read Moses' writings, their hearts are covered with that veil, and they do not understand. But whenever someone turns to the Lord, the veil is taken away. For the Lord is the Spirit, and wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So all of us who have had that veil removed can see and reflect the glory of the Lord. End of quote. We cannot make the commitment Jesus asked of us if we live our faith entirely in the flesh without an interior conversion. You have listened to many homilies and read numerous inspirational books, but have you been able to commit your life completely to Jesus? This is what St. Paul is implying when he says that a veil is covering your heart. How do you remove the veil? The first step is to realize that there is indeed a veil covering your heart. This veil varies for each person. We can compare its different shades to the 7 deadly sins. The second step is to accept that we cannot remove the veil on our own. We need God's grace. This is where prayer becomes essential to the journey of discipleship. If God removes the veil, then we can hear His words and experience a radical conversion that helps us make Jesus our priority. So this week, I invite you to do the following. Number 1, dedicate 10 minutes to daily silence. Reflect on the veil covering your heart and hindering you from living authentic Christian life. Studying the 7 deadly sins can assist you in this regard. Second, as we strive to dedicate ourselves more fully to Christ, others remain enslaved to human masters. Slavery is not a thing of the past. Learn about human trafficking. What actions could you take to prevent human trafficking and support victims in rebuilding their lives? Have a blessed week.